let's talk about a feeling I am positive you know all too well. It's that sensation of being, well, paralyzed by your own phone. In the next few minutes, we're going to unpack the really surprising biology behind why that happens, and I'm going to show you exactly how to take back control. Does this sound familiar? You know the scene. It's late, your eyes are burning, but you just can't stop. It really feels like you're just a passenger in your own body, right? Just watching your thumb swipe, almost against your will. It's so frustrating, and it happens to pretty much all of us. And in that moment, what's the story you tell yourself? That you're just lazy? That you've got zero self-control? Zero discipline? Yeah, we've all been there, just beating ourselves up for something that feels like it should be so simple, like just putting down a phone.
But what if I told you that all that self-blame is completely wrong? That this isn't a personal failure at all. You are not the problem here.
The real issue actually has a name. It's called popcorn brain. It's a term that describes exactly what's going on. Your brain, which is just wired to seek out rewards, has been completely hijacked by this endless, bottomless stream of digital stuff. Your focus just starts popping from one thing to the next, like popcorn, totally out of your control. And this is not just a vague feeling. It's backed by some pretty stark data. Research from the University of California found that back in 2004, our average attention span on a single thing was about 2.5 minutes. Today, get this, it's plummeted to just 47 seconds. 47. That's a measurable, massive collapse of our collective focus. Here's a really powerful way to think about it. Imagine your mind is the cockpit of an airplane. You're supposed to be the pilot, right? You're in charge. But with popcorn brain, it's like an algorithm has stormed the cockpit and hijacked the controls. And that helpless, guilty feeling, that's just you, the real pilot, tied up in the back, forced to watch it all happen.
So, if we're going to take back the controls, we need to understand the plane's manual. So let's look at the simple mechanism inside your brain that's being taken advantage of. It really all boils down to two different networks that are kind of fighting each other.
So on one side, you've got the default mode network. Think of this as your brain on autopilot. This is where you daydream, you worry, and yep, you mindlessly scroll. Then on the other side, you've got the task positive network. This is your get-it-done mode, your focus mode for creating, for solving problems, for actually doing things.
And here is the absolute key to all of this. It's a light switch. Only one of these networks can be on at a time. It's impossible. You simply cannot be in focus mode and scrolling mode at the same time. And our digital world is basically engineered to keep that switch permanently flipped over to default.
But here's the good news. Taking back control isn't about some superhuman willpower. It's about biology. You don't have to fight harder. You just have to know how to find the biological off switch. So let's get into the actual strategy for doing that. We can do this with a really simple 3-step process. First, we're going to apply friction to the bad habit. Second, we have to kill the underlying anxiety that's driving it. And third, we use a little trick, a gateway, to make starting the good habit almost ridiculously easy.
Okay, step 1, applying friction. All this means is making the distracting thing, your phone, less appealing and just a little bit harder to do. We need to basically starve the part of your brain that's addicted to all that digital candy.
And the single most effective way to do this is to go after the #1 trigger for our subconscious attention, which is color. I mean, according to the Center for Humane Technology, those little red notification dots are no accident. They are specifically designed to mimic the color of blood or ripe fruit, these ancient survival signals that literally scream, "Look at me." So here is something you can do right now. I'm not kidding. Not later, right now. Pause this, go into your phone's accessibility settings, and switch your screen to grayscale. When you strip away the color, I promise you, Instagram suddenly looks like a boring old newspaper. The candy store becomes bland, and your brain just naturally starts to lose interest. All right, so even with a great phone, you still might feel that anxious little itch to scroll. That's your amygdala, your brain's alarm system, just firing off. So to get truly focused, we have to calm that system down.
The technique is called panoramic vision. See, when we're stressed out, our sight literally narrows into tunnel vision. So to reverse this, all you have to do is lift your head, look out toward the horizon, and just soften your gaze so you can see your periphery, the walls to your left and right. Doing this creates something neuroscientists call optic flow, and it sends a direct signal to your brainstem to just chill out. It's a biological off switch for stress.
So, you've made your phone boring and you've calmed your nervous system down. Now we have the final barrier, just starting the actual thing you want to do. We need a way to get over that initial, resistance.
Think about it like a rocket launch. A rocket burns most of its fuel in just the first few minutes, just to escape gravity. Well, your brain works the exact same way. That activation energy required to start something hard is massive.
So don't tell yourself, ugh, I have to finish this entire project. That's way too big, way too intimidating. Instead, you make a simple deal with your brain. You just say, I will do this for 10 minutes. That's it. After 10 minutes, I have my own permission to stop. This totally lowers the threat level. It tricks your brain into just opening the door. And once that task-positive network is fired up, you'll find you probably don't even want to stop.
So what's the big takeaway here? That feeling of brain rot isn't a life sentence. It's actually a signal. It's your mind telling you that it's starving for depth in a world that's become really shallow. And every single time you use these tools, you are physically rewiring your brain back toward focus.
So please, let this be the one thing you remember. You're not lazy, you're not undisciplined, and you are definitely not broken. You've just been playing a game that was rigged against your biology, and nobody ever gave you the rules. Well, now you have the user manual.
The next time you feel that digital fog rolling in, don't try to fight it with guilt. Just use these biological tools to flip the switch. Because your focus, that's your most valuable asset. And in a world that is drowning in distraction, the world truly desperately needs you awake.